So here's the question. Why interview rapists? The context for this is that we're working on a documentary. The working title is Living After Rape. And the intention is to explore with people who have lived through rape, people who have raped, and the loved ones and extended family and connected community of both of those population groups. So it does bring to mind the question, why interview rapists? It probably seems like it would be much more straightforward to only interview people who have lived through rape. There's so many answers to this that it's hard for me to figure out where to start. I think first and foremost, I would say that I had the opportunity a number of years ago to do a very long, multiple hour presentation and interaction with 200 convicted rapists at Bridgewater State Prison. And one of the things that I found out when I asked the question about their history to the people that I was presenting to was that 100% of those people had a abuse history. 100%. So it really started me thinking. So that's one reason, is that if the act, the violent act of rape, just magically appeared out of nowhere, and one lone person who had a, quote, relatively normal passage through childhood woke up one day and decided that they wanted to be a rapist, and one person who had also a relatively normal passage through childhood, and I have to say I'm not even really sure that those exist, and the rapist raped the victim, then it probably would make sense to me to only look at one of the population groups. But because we have a pandemic going on in our world, rape happens everywhere. And the reality is that it hurts everyone. It seems to me that it's really important to look at all the population groups because from generation to generation, from person to person, from family to family, they meld and they mix. Another astonishing piece is that when you begin to really explore with people about what they live with, people who have lived through rape and people who have raped, once the initial horrendous events have happened, and let me make it really clear here, rapists choose to rape, and it is totally and completely not okay. So I am not in any way saying anything about the fact that people shouldn't be accountable. I absolutely believe that they need to be, they must. And there's something bigger going on here because nobody gets born wanting to be a rapist, nor does anybody get born wanting to rape. So what I was saying is that once the events have been lived through, what's astonishing is that what's called the presenting symptomatology, or basically what you're stuck with after the fact, is horrifically similar. Horrifically. So the people who have made the choice to do these horrendous acts, and the people who have been victimized and lived through these horrendous acts, and the people who love these people, all seem to live with very similar horrible after effects. And what I'm really interested in is many things, but among them, how do we stop this epidemic? How do we stop it? And given that the statistics are so huge and that so many people have lived through these things, my question is, how do we live afterwards? What is it that goes into making these lives that we are all living after the fact? So that's a part of an answer.